If you're an audiophile, a video editor, or a music producer, then you might want to consider something like the Edifier MR5 studio monitors, which I've got behind me. Now, at the time of filming and in the UK, they can be found for roughly £280, while in the US they can be found for roughly $350. Now, the links down in the description below, or the pinned comments, or even the QR code that will be found on your screen right now will take you to your localized Amazon store. Now, in this video, which has been sponsored by the manufacturer, I'll be covering everything you need to know about them so you can make your own informed purchasing decision. So to kick things off, let's talk about its design, and here it's available in a white or black finish, the latter of course being pictured. You've also got a nice copper accent to it, which adds to the overall snazziness. The speakers weigh in at 10.38 kilograms, and the dimensions will be on your screen. Now, the right-hand driver has got all the controls, and at the front you'll be able to see that there is a physical knob, which has got a nice sort of clicky feel to it. If you were to hold it down, it'll power it on or off. If you were to single press it, it'll allow you to cycle between the different modes, and here there's a small little LED that resides next to the knob, which gives you an indication of the mode that you're in. In green, it's music. In red, it's monitor mode, and when it's in white, it's the customized mode. And I'll touch upon this very shortly because it's linked with the app. Now, at the back of the right-hand speaker, you'll also find a high knob which allows you to cut or boost the frequency above 10 kilohertz by plus or minus 6 decibels. And you've also got a low knob which effectively allows you to cut or boost the frequency at around 125 hertz by plus or minus 6 decibels. This actually perfectly brings me onto connectivity, and at the back you have got a balanced XLR and TRS inputs, which are professional grade connections that can be handy with audio interfaces and mixers. Here you'll also find an RCA input, which allows you to connect it up to a variety of different devices. At the front of the right-hand speaker, you'll also find an auxiliary input and also a headphone output, which therefore means that you can plug in your headphones directly into the speakers themselves. Now, what's more is that you have got Bluetooth, with the version 6.0 actually being utilized with a variety of different codecs, such as the SPC and a LDAC codecs. The latter is certainly very much appreciated because it reduces the overall transmission loss and therefore increases the overall fidelity you can get over wireless, therefore getting the high-res certification with 990 kilobits per second that can be transmitted over said codec. Now, furthermore, you have also got Bluetooth multipoint, which allows you to simultaneously pair up to two different devices while still being connected to the same speaker. This is quite handy if, for example, you've got a laptop and then a smartphone, because both of them can be simultaneously paired up to the speaker, and it can independently switch between the two different sources without having you to disconnect and reconnect to said device. So moving on, we get on to the Edifier Connect X app, and through the main interface you can see if high-res is actually being utilized, be it in terms of wired or wireless, and this can be denoted by the logos actually being illuminated. Then you've got the sound effects, where you've also got the ability of switching between the modes, and also you've got that customized mode, and therefore giving you a multi-band EQ, allowing you to also save it and also share it, which is quite handy. Furthermore, you've also got acoustic tuning. You can adjust the low cutoff between 20 Hz and go up 10 increments all the way up to 100 Hz. And you've also got the slope, which you can adjust, the acoustic space, and also the desktop control, which effectively is utilized if you've got the speakers on a desktop like I do. If not, you might want to disable it, for example, if you got it on some monitor stands. Then you've got the volume control, which does as it says, and you can also see the audio playing when there's something actually connected. In terms of the settings cog, at the top right hand side you've got a variety of different menus, such as the user manual, the audio channel setup, which allows you to change the active speaker between right and left. You then also have got a power saving mode should you want to have that enabled, and yes, it is enabled by default. You can see the Bluetooth devices, the HD audio codec that's actually being utilized, and I'll definitely suggest going on the utmost audio fidelity for you to get the best out of the LDAC codec. And here that also gives you the ability of enabling LDAC, and it will become enabled out the box, but nonetheless you might want to check it. Then you've got the prompt tones, which you can enable and disable. Then you can power it off and also turn off the Bluetooth. So moving on, we get on to sound quality, and at the front you have got a 1-inch silk dome tweeter, where both of them combined to output 20 watts, so 10 watts each. Then you've also got a 3.75-inch mid-driver, each of this dispatching 15 watts of power, therefore tallying up to 30 watts. And you've also got a 5-inch long throw woofer, which can be found towards the bottom, each of them delivering up to 30 watts and therefore a tally of 60 watts. The combination of these drivers account for 110 watts of power that's being claimed by the manufacturer, giving you room-filling sound, which can be handy for a desktop or even a living room scenario. Furthermore, you have got high-res certification with 24-bit 96 kHz, which is actually supported. Now, the speakers themselves have got a frequency range of 46 Hz up to 40 kHz, and they've got a targeted flat frequency response. Here you've also got a patented acoustic architecture and a sophisticated tri-amped active crossover. Therefore, bass mid can go to 155 Hz, and you've also got the mid treble at 2.6 kHz. The combination yields for a very rich and natural sound with a seamless transition across the lows, mids and the highs. So with that out of the way, let's get onto some audio demos. I'll be placing the camera and microphone in front of the speakers, which have been connected over RCA to my receiver, which in turn is also connected up to my desktop computer over USB. Here I'll be playing back a music track, which is from Priya J and it's titled Like Me, and then I will be showcasing a presentation, in other words a piece to camera, to you with the JQ-E5 that I have done on Totally EV. Make sure you check out the annotations on your screen to understand how the speakers are actually operating, because not only will I be cycling between the different modes, I'll also be enabling and therefore disabling the high and low cutoffs. Kick things off, let's talk about its electric range. And here you've got a 61.1 kilowatt hour battery pack with an LFP chemistry, that stands for lithium iron phosphate. And the manufacturer claims that you'll get 248 WLTP test cycle. However, from my own mixed driving tests, which were done on country roads and in around the city, I actually netted a pretty impressive 190 to 210 miles. Now, as you'll be able to see from the mileage leaderboard, that actually does fare pretty well. In fact, in comparison to some of its nearest competitors, which are actually a little bit more expensive, that is actually really impressive. What JQ have been able to manage within the E5 is certainly something to behold. However, in comparison to some of its rivals, it does not have a heat pump, which is a little bit disappointing. Indeed, on those colder climate days, which we're used to in the UK, it means that you can get reduced efficiency because it's not as good as heating up the cabin. So I appreciate an audio demo over YouTube is not quite ideal, but I thought to provide it as it gives you a bit of a taster. Hopefully there you were able to pick out the differences between the modes, and also when I was enabling and disabling the high and low cutoffs. In person, it really does make a difference. And indeed, giving you that customization is certainly appreciated. And in person, I'll say that the speakers do get very loud, don't suffer from any sort of distortion, and do pretty well across the sound frequency range. And of course, in the monitor mode, has got a much more flatter sound signature, which will therefore be appreciated by those people that do work in the music industry. Now hopefully this video has been informative and has provided you all the right information that you require on them for you to make your informed purchasing decision. I'd be curious to know what you make of the MR5 down in the comment section below. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, definitely do consider dropping a like, subscribing and hitting that bell notification. All of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Totally Dubbed and I hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.